Oh, hey,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay. Happy Wednesday to you, sir. Happy hump day to you.
I'm just glad I'm not dying. Oh
I'm
God,
glad you're feeling better. Let's not be melodramatic. Y'all know he's dramatic.
I'm
I'm glad
not.
you're feeling better. You are dramatic. I think
Y'all
that's a
trying to make me
That
like
must be
I'm
a Capricorn
dramatic.
trait because y'all Capricorns are dramatic.
Nobody I know that's a Capricorn is dramatic. If anything, we're the ones who lack emotion.
You are having emotion and being dramatic are two different things.
I'm not dramatic, and I don't have emotions. We don't emote, and we're not dramatic.
Moving on. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, come on in. Oh no, the doctor has said you may have RSV. You better go get it checked.
Who me?
That's what she said. Janae said you may have RSV.
Oh God, Janae, don't do that to me. I'm just on the upside, girl. I'm on the good
Well, what's
side.
up, Lemon Kush? Hey, Cookie. What's up, Marnie? Hey, Janae, Tracy, One Choice. Hey, 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 you guys. As you guys come on in, just hit that like button for us. I appreciate it so much. And you guys remember, hey, Below, we are still striving to get our monetization before the end of the year. We need like 1,400 watch
I
hours, but
think we can do it.
it's really not a lot. Okay, I did create that. We have playlists. We have season one, season two, season three, and season four. If you guys just pull a playlist and just let it play through, you'd be surprised. We just need 140 people to watch 10 episodes. Each episode's an hour. Did I do my math right?
I don't know. Listen, I can't figure out the quantum physics that it takes for their little, math computation for how they come up with the watch time hours. Like it's quantum physics. Let's be clear.
Well, so we have 30 days, y'all. Well, give or take a 2 days, but we have 30 days to get it done. So we're gonna get on y'all nerves with that. So anyway, with that, and if you're listening to us down to the Apple or Google Play on the podcast, come on over to YouTube and watch and let a couple of videos uh um uh play through for us. Appreciate that so much. Now, today we have yet another story from Tennessee. That is 3 weeks in a row that we have a story from Tennessee.
Tennessee
Tennessee
said
is
they
trying to
coming
take
in the clutch on the back. Here you
right.
go. See them.
Tennessee said, Tennessee said, don't play with us. We, we want to be put us in the game,
We
coach.
would not be outdone. They said we would not be outdone. We would not be
Okay.
left out. Baby,
They said,
listen,
put
we
us
are
in the
here.
game, coach. Right. So we have another Tennessee story. We have a story from Harvard. And yes, Tracy, we have a story about diplomas for sale. So did you hear about what happened down to the Diddy with the charter school with Dr. Steve Perry saying thank you, but no thank you?
If Dr. Perry tell you you got to go away, that'd be just like Dr. Kennedy telling you you got to go away. I mean, really, big, you know what I'm talking about, girl. You know what I'm talking about.
You know I know. You know I
Hold on, really, B. Give me a second. A bunch of people calling me. Hold on.
All right. So listen, if you guys don't know who these people are in the charter school world, y'all go look them up and Google them. These are people that have made great strides in the world of charter schools. But not to bring that whole story here, but yeah, definitely we see where Dr. Steve Perry has separated from Diddy as it relates to his charter school system. So moving right along. Hey, Symmetry. And we have the article from Symmetry. That's the one from Tennessee. So thank you and shout out to Symmetry for sending us that article we're gonna be talking about today. I'm gonna go ahead and get started because y'all know Dr. L. Teddy had to take a call. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Let's see. I don't know where he want to start, but I guess that's where we can start. Let's start with the Tennessee because it's more of an update to stories we've already talked about. So let's talk about Tennessee, honey.
Sorry
Tennessee.
about that. When like four
Oh,
or
he's
five
back.
people call you, bam, 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 bam. You like,
Yeah.
yeah. Let me see what's going on.
Uh-oh. Look, where did I put the article on Tennessee? I know I have it. Oh, there it is right there.
Take
Duh.
me to another place. Take me to another. Make me forget all that hurts me. Let me understand your
We
plan.
understand your plan. All right. And if you don't know who that is, then I don't know if we can be friends. All right, moving on.
I mean, the song is
So this
called
is an update, you
Tennessee.
guys. We have been talking about Tennessee for the last couple of weeks. They are down. Yeah, they are down to Tennessee, acting a whole fool. So let me read you guys this article, and then and again, shout out to Symmetry for sending us this article. But let's read through it, and then let's see what we talking about, you guys. Let us see what they talking about. This is coming from the Tennessean. Coming from the Tennessean, it is dated November the 27th. Okay. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee to propose expanding school choice to 20,000 students statewide. Now, for those of you who have been with us for a while, pop quiz, school choice is just another code word for, put it in the chat, because we've talked about school choice before. Pop quiz, if
You
you've been with
have
us for a while, you know exactly what that is. It should ring in your ear when you hear school choice. It should be ding, 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 ding. You should already know what they talking about. Governor Bill Lee will propose legislation to establish a new statewide school voucher program in Tennessee, offering $7,075 in state funds to 20,000 students to attend a private or homeschool of their choice in the 2024-2025 school year, with a plan to open universal eligibility beginning in 2025. Lee will unveil his Education Freedom Scholarship Act. You know, they love throwing freedom in these things. Don't they love putting freedom in there?
freedom. You're right. Lord.
He will unveil his Education Freedom Scholarship Act proposal on Tuesday at 2 p.m. The Tennessee State at the Tennessee State Museum, according to the governor's office. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who led her state to adopt a universal school choice policy this year, will join Lee as he outlines the legislation, according to an official familiar with the plan. That's your friend, L. Teddy. This is an idea that I believe was appropriate for a long time. And I think parents across America are coming to understand more and more is important. And that's why we're seeing this movement across the country. Is that why we're seeing this movement across the country? Tennessee legislative leaders and students participating in the state's existing education savings account school choice program will also attend the event. Kentucky lawmakers have recently indicated movement to expand school options nationwide next year. So I'm sorry, I said Kentucky. I'm sorry, y'all. Key, Lord, I didn't took the E out. Key lawmakers, Lord. Rep. Mark White, Republican from Memphis, chair of the House Education Committee, earlier this month told the Tennessean he will pursue a statewide plan. Lee has long been a proponent of school choice, having first proposed a statewide school choice program in his first weeks in office in 2019. His education savings account program, which was implemented last year after surviving a years-long legal challenge, currently offers about 9,000 in-state funds to 2,400 low and middle income students in Davidson, Shelby, and Hamilton counties. Lee's initial program has proved controversial. It initially passed the legislature by one vote, and some Republicans only voted for it with assurance that their counties would not be included. What? I'm going to vote for this, but I don't want you to put it here. All right, hold on. Nope, sorry, I lost my place. See, that's what happens when I stop. Families tout voucher success as test scores spark doubt and critics worry over expansion. The TCAP test scores for ESA students show participants performed lower than their public school peers during the first year of the program. School administrators say the number may be more indicative of the student population the program is designed to reach, or administrative hiccups due to the swift rollout of the program weeks before school began. According to the Tennessee Department of Education, 91% of participating parents reported they are satisfied with their students' academic growth during the first year of the program. The Tennessee Education Association has pledged to roundly oppose any effort to expand the ESA program, decrying expansion as irresponsible and reckless. Meanwhile, Democrats already are voicing their fierce opposition to any expansion, accusing the Lee administration of devaluing public education. And then it goes on to explain how the program would work. Approved uses for the Education Freedom Scholarship Fund would include private school tuition, fees, and uniforms, textbook, curricula, and instructional materials. That is important, because when you talk about curricula and instructional materials, you could be talking about a homeschool program, okay? Tutoring services, transportation fees, computers, tablets, devices, and tech fees used for education, tuition fees and textbooks for summer and after school academic program, fees for early post-secondary opportunities, courses, or exams, entrance exams required for post-secondary admission, and state recognized industry certification exams, educational therapy services. It is unclear whether students participating in the Education Freedom Scholarship Act will be required to take any state achievement tests. What? Everyone knows that I'm a proponent of school choice, Lee told the Tennessean earlier this month. Anytime we can appropriately expand choice for parents, I'm very interested in looking into it. Several states, we're at the end. Several states have recently implemented universal school choice laws after that offers families state-funded scholarships to pay for tuition, books, transportation, and technology costs at non-public schools that are the best fit their child, regardless of their income and county residency. Arkansas, Arizona, Iowa, West Virginia, and Utah have all recently adopted such policies. Critics of these policies argue that they will take state funding away from already underfunded government schools. Dr. El Teddy.
We have spoke ad nauseum about this. We just spoke, when was that, a couple weeks ago, with Texas
Yeah.
expanding it over there. And it's always the same thing. It's smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you hear Governor Quasimodo, her name attached to anything, you should automatically assume something's wrong here. Because Governor Quasimodo does not mean well for anything involving children. This is the same governor who did away with child labor laws in her own state. Let's be clear. So she, her, we know what her game is. She's trying to get on a ticket for 2024. That's a whole different story. But
Mm-hmm.
Governor Lee and the legislature down to Tennessee is systematically, y'all can say what y'all want to say about Florida and all they got going on, but the difference is you just hear more about Florida in the news. But some of the things that's going on over there in Tennessee are way beyond the pale compared to what Florida is doing. Florida looks like, a libertarian state or something like that compared to what you got going on in Tennessee. There is thing after thing after thing, law after law after law, egregious thing after egregious. This is the same state that put people's medical records on out in public if they had transition surgery. This is the same state that violated HIPAA. And so now we have these programs where they're calling it um, education savings accounts and all of that stuff. What they're doing is giving rich ass white people money to supplement their private school tuitions and all of that other kind of stuff. They're going to pick a small handful of minorities just to satisfy. Oh, see, look at these families that we gave the voucher to, and they're doing beautifully. And it's just going to be a handful. And the lion's share of these monies are going to go to people who do not need it. People who already have the money to pay to go to private school. And all this is going to do is, oh, I could buy you a new laptop, son or daughter. Oh, we're going to say we're using it on educational materials, but this is going to be our ski trip to Aspen, spending money this year because the few pennies that they do give to minorities can't pay for private school tuition. Let's be clear, it can't. And then really be last time I said, just give it to them, give it everything to them, just do away with public education, and give it all to them. Just let people do whatever they want and go wherever the hell they want. But here's the news flash to these people: all of the school choice vouchers, all of that stuff. When the students make their own choices, go wherever the hell they want, get this place wherever, their same scores, their same achievement levels are going to follow them. And so the problems that you have at this other school that was the problem is now going to go somewhere else. And you're still going to have a problem because you never address the issue, which is student achievement. Y'all are hell bent on, oh, this not the right place. Oh, this not the right setup. Oh, this not the right place. Oh, this not the right setup. Instead of saying, let's address the issue, which is student achievement. Why are we not getting real education, real instruction taking place? And they never want to address that. They never want to address that. They just want to throw some money at it, say, oh, here's some money. You don't got to be over there in the black neighborhood. But then when they go over there to the white neighborhood, now what you do, you stick them, oh, yeah, you're not on grade level. So we're going to stick you in this special ed class, this ESC class. You know what I'm saying? And we'll give you this IEP and give you all of these. It's just a mess. It's just a whole mess. Tennessee, somebody need to take a look at what's going on over there. Somebody, they spending all it, we spending all our time on Governor Hot Wheels and Governor Death Sentence and Governor Quasimodo. But we need to have people look into what's going on in Tennessee. It's a lot of our people in Tennessee, a lot of black people in Tennessee. And somebody need to look into what's going on over there. It's a real problem. That's all I got for it.
I agree. And I've told you guys before, my biggest issue with the whole voucher system is basically the article, the last sentence of the article is exactly what I always say about the voucher program. And I'm going to read it to you because, again, I don't really need to say anything more than this. Critics of such policies argue that they take state funding away from already underfunded government schools. Also in the article, it said that they're debating about whether the students have to take state testing. So on top of, now this is the same people that are always talking about accountability, 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 right? So you're going to take money away from a budget that's already stretched, especially in the more under funded areas to begin with, and give it to other students to go to a private school. Mind you, you're putting money in the hands of a private company, whether that be a church school, whether it be another business that's running a school. And then they're not going to, you don't even know whether you're going to make them take a test to see if it has been effective, to see if it is working, to see if they are getting a better education. Like,
They don't
so
want
you
no
know what
accountability for themselves.
exactly, exactly. So, I've said it a million times and I'll continue to say it until I'm blue in the face about how I feel about voucher programs. And I know that there are a lot of people who have benefited from vouchers. I have friends who benefited from vouchers. So I have a friend right now, her grandson is going to a really nice school because of a voucher style program. So let's be clear, the idea of the program isn't my issue. The implementation and the reason are my issues. All right. Let's move right along. Oh, we do have a little bit of an update. I don't have the article in front of me, but the lady, the mother of the little boy who shot the teacher, that story we brought you, El Teddy said he didn't care until they was going to hold the mother responsible. Well, the mama going to jail. She was sentenced. She was found guilty, and she was sentenced. I
Good.
do not. I don't have the article in front of me, but she was
I
sentenced.
think I saw that like last week. I think I meant
Yeah, it
to
was
send it
last
to you.
week. And she's going to jail for a significant amount of time. Like, it's not no,
Good.
it ain't no tap on the wrist. And I'm not mad about
Good.
it because but for the grace of God, that woman could be gone. I mean, thank God she's recovered. It wasn't a type of shot that would maim her for the rest of her life, or take her life altogether. But it absolutely could have been. So I mean, sorry, but not sorry. And it wasn't like we didn't know. It wasn't like the school had you didn't know your child had issues. Like anyway, we've talked about it, but I just wanted to bring you guys that update. Where do we want to go next? Do we want to talk about Tampa? Do we want to talk about Harvard? Do we want to talk about Louisiana?
Let's do Louisiana. Tampa
All
and
right.
Harvard are almost the same, but let's do Louisiana.
All right, let's get into it. This is coming from the Associated Press. Again, I will be putting the link in the chat, and I will have the links in the description box if you're catching this on a replay or you can't see the chat or what have you. Let me put it in the chat. Hey, Rye. Hey, everybody that's coming in. Thank you guys for being here. Again, hit the like button if you are new here. You just came in. All right. Diplomas for sale. Diplomas for sale. $465 inside of one of Louisiana's unapproved schools. Okay, that's what the article is. This article was published on November the 27th of 2023. Arlia Martin accepted her high school diploma with relief and gratitude. It was her ticket to better paying work, she felt, after getting kicked out of high school and toiling for 8 years at factory jobs to support her children. This is a new path for me to get on with my life, she said. But Martin didn't take any classes or pass any tests to receive her degree. She got it in July from a school where students can get a high school diploma for $465. Unlike public schools, formal homeschooling programs, or traditional private schools, nearly 9,000 private schools in Louisiana don't need state approval to grant degrees. Nearly every one of those unapproved schools was created to serve a single homeschooling family, but some have buildings, classrooms, teachers, and dozens of students. While unapproved schools account for a small percentage of the state's students, those in Louisiana off the grid school system are a rapidly growing example of the nation's continuing fallout from C19 families. Um, from C19 families that are disengaging from traditional education. U.S. public school enrollment fell by more than 1.2 million students in the first 2 years after the pandemic. Many switched to private school or told their state they were homeschooling. Thousands of others could not be accounted for at all. Ooh, child. The students in Louisiana off the grid school system aren't missing, but there's no way to tell what kind of education they're getting or whether they're getting one at all. Over 21,000 students are enrolled in the state's unapproved schools, nearly double the number from before the pandemic, according to the data obtained through a public records quest by AP and the Advocate. To supporters of the system, avoiding state oversight is entirely the point. Advocates say Louisiana unapproved schools are a natural extension of the doctrine of parental rights. Yeah, that's another buzzword, y'all. Parental rights. That's another buzzword. We need to create a vocabulary list, Doc. We need to create a vocabulary list.
Do
That's
a
another
word
buzzword.
wall, a word wall.
All right, a word wall, right? All right. The place where Martin got her diploma, Springfield Preparatory School, and they had the nerve to call itself a preparatory school child, bills itself as an umbrella school for Christian homeschoolers. Most students there do attend the school to work toward an education through actual classes or tutoring. However, Principal Kitty Sibley Morrison is also willing to grant a diploma to anyone whose parents say they were homeschooled, even years earlier. Mm. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times to explain to them that they are free, Sibley said. Their parents are in charge of them, not the state. Sibley Morrison said she is not selling diplomas, but rather lifetime services for homeschooling families. We are not here to make money, she said. Yet, a list of price lists is taped to the front window of the school building. $250 for diploma services, $50 application fee, $35 for a diploma cover, and $130 to walk in a cap and gown at a ceremony. The number of students in unapproved private schools like Springfield has nearly doubled from around 11,000 in 2017-2018 to over 21,000 in year 22-23. There's precious little information available about these schools, which the state calls non-public schools not seeking state approval. To start one, an adult must only report their school's name and address, their contact information, and how many students they have. Some schools have whimsical names such as Ballerina Jedi Academy and the Unicorn Princess.
I can't do this. I can't. I just can't. What are we doing?
The Unicorn Princess School? Ballerina Jedi Academy. Does ballerina and Jedi even, are they even supposed to be in the same sentence?
Yeah, I can't.
Most of the schools are tiny, single-family home schools. However, last year, 30 of Louisiana's unapproved schools reported they had at least 50 children enrolled. There is no way for the government to verify safety, quality, or even whether a school exists. What?
Oh
Says
God.
Laura Hawkins, a former State Department of Education official who worked on its school choice efforts up to 2020. Yeah, school choice, right? The department warns parents on its website that it cannot confirm whether these organizations even meet the legal definition of a school. We don't want to give parents or anyone a false sense that we knew anything about these schools should they exist, that we could attest to their safety, that we would attest to their actual education program, anything. Wow.
Why do you think I
Louisiana.
sent you this article on Monday and said, no, we're doing this one?
Yeah. Now listen, the article is a little lengthy, y'all. So hang in there with me because this is crazy. Louisiana has two options for homeschooling. Parents who want their child to receive a state-recognized high school diploma can apply for the official home study program. They must submit documentation such as test scores or copies of the student's work to show their child has received 180 days of schooling at the same quality as a public school. The state-recognized diploma is more widely accepted by college and allows students to qualify for a popular in-state scholarship program. Alternately, families can set up their own private school without asking for state approval. What?
I told
Hold,
you when I sent this to you, I said, no, we're doing this one.
hold on. Families can set up their own private school without asking for state approval. There are no requirements to prove a child is getting an education. In fact, these schools don't even have to submit the names of the students who are attending. At least two unapproved institutions have had abuse scandals, but the State Department of Education says it has no authority to do anything. By law, the LDOE does not have oversight over these schools. One of the most infamous is T.M. Landry in Bro Ridge. Found that in 2018, the New York Times investigation found that the school abused kids and made up transcripts to get students into Ivy League schools. It was still open as of our last school year with 15 children, according to state records. Other
Ivy
unapproved
League.
schools in Baton
Ivy
Rouge,
League.
Second Chance, huh?
No, I said Ivy League if you need them. They're at
Yeah,
Brown,
Ivy League.
Harvard, Princeton, Ivy.
Right. Second Chance Academy has come under scrutiny since its head teacher was arrested on charges of SA. So confused. Louisiana's unapproved private schools came into being in 1980 when Christian ministers who ran small private schools joined forces with the budding homeschool movement to push for deregulation of private education. Lawmakers eliminated the requirement for private schools to have at least 50 students and state certified teachers. Opponents have tried on multiple occasions to get the law repealed, but faltered in the face of lobbying efforts from Christian homeschooling groups. Wow. Today, over a dozen states allow families to open a private school as a form of homeschooling, including California, Illinois, and Texas. According to the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, around half the states require those schools to teach basic subjects such as math and reading. Louisiana is not one of them. So wait a minute.
You heard it. You heard it. Mhm.
They don't even have to teach them babies how to read and write.
You heard it. Mhm.
Springfield Preparatory consists of two low-slung buildings on Springfield's Main Street. One is an office, the other a former restaurant space where Sibley Morrison's daughter and other teachers lead classes on art, music, and more. Notice they didn't say reading or math. They said art and music. State records say that 250 students attend. Ain't no 250 students in that school. Although Sibley Morrison said the school doesn't keep count. Y'all, it's not even funny. It is so ridiculous, though. This sounds like a parody. This sounds like something that I would read in The Onion. Like, this doesn't sound real. Wow. Some homeschooling families come for art or science. Others for services like career guidance, test prep, and explanation and support in their parental rights. Wow. Or others, such as Aurelia Martin, go straight for a diploma. Kicked out of high school. Then it just goes on to talk about her again. I don't need to know about that. It just goes to talk about how she got in contact with them. We don't care. And her getting her diploma, her fake diploma. She got her diploma within days of meeting the principal. Wow. And the document was backdated to 2015 when she would have graduated.
If you need it.
So not only is it a fake diploma that she paid for, they're going to backdate it to make it look like she graduated on time instead of getting kicked out of high school, which is what this article say happened to her, that she got kicked
I
out of high
read
school.
listen, really be I read this article and side-eyed anybody I ever went to school with that came from the great state of Louisiana. You from what state? Get away from me. You don't belong in the same
Oh,
airspace as
wait a
me.
minute. Now, this has to be criminal. Signs at the school advertise state-approved diplomas, even though the state has not approved anything about the school. Sibley Morrison said she can use those words because she encourages each family in her program to simultaneously sign up for the state-approved home study program. No, that's not what that means. Just because you tell people to do it doesn't mean they do it. It doesn't mean you get to say they did it. Man, that's not how this works. She says the diploma recognizes the value of educational experiences outside of the classroom. I think you're working in the oil field, you're working the McDonald's. All of that is just as valid as what the classroom was. That's my point. That's why I sleep well at night because I feel good about the parents having alternatives in raising their children. After learning later that her diploma is not approved by the state and might not be accepted by some colleges, Martin said she did not feel deterred. Friends and family members have gotten diplomas from the same school and gone on to college and successful careers, she said. In Sibley Morrison's views, parents are the only people who get to decide if and when someone is sufficiently educated. When parents say my child is ready to go into the real world, I take their word for it. Y'all, this is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Angela Grimberg, the executive producer, not executive producer, the executive director of the Coalition for Responsible Home Education, pointed out Louisiana law states that parents who want state approval must apply within 15 days of starting homeschooling. Backdating a diploma that claims to be state approved would thus be fraudulent. Beasley, the Department of Education spokesperson, said diplomas generally cannot be awarded retroactively. Asked if any government agency has the authority to take action if a school sells diplomas, Beasley suggested making a report to the state attorney general Consumer Protection Division. The attorney general's office did not respond to a request for comment. Yeah, I can't. I, I'm almost done. A diverse spectrum of families have come under Springfield Prep's umbrella, united by the feeling that public school just doesn't work for them. Among others, there are families who want more flexibility and freedom, students sick or unfamiliar discipline and post-pandemic chaos, and conservative parents who disapprove of books assigned in public school. Jamie Vander Mullion thought public school wouldn't be a good fit for her three daughters, who all have dyslexia. So she started at her own unapproved private school. Her girls learn with her in the morning and then take enrichment classes at Springfield, dabbling in everything from harp to Irish
I
Irish
don't know.
dance. Vandermullen's 8-year-old girl Ruby described school as really fun, artsy, and magical. Mm. Her daughter Rose says she likes that she can learn at her own pace and spend more time on topics she loves, including science and World War II. You learn it and you can keep doing it, so it stays in your brain. I thought that's what they did in regular school, but okay, girl. Some of those science classes are taught by Harper Mumford, another mom in the co-op. Mumford said other parents thought she was crazy when she started homeschooling, but since the pandemic, families have less trust in public school. Before, it seemed more of like a cooperation between schools and parents for education. Then I think when those mandates started happening, it didn't seem so much as a cooperative effort. So all of this is because y'all had to take y'all kids back to school, or because your kids had to wear masks. That's what you mad about? Kylie Barber, 15, celebrated her graduation from Springfield Prep in August with 22 other students. She said her public high school in Biloxi, Mississippi had become crazy since the pandemic, with rampant bullying and drug use. I just wanted to hurry up and get out of school, she said. She didn't have to take any classes to get her diploma. You just paid to walk. On the July day, when Sibley Morrison handed Martin her diploma, she advised her on next steps, describing scholarships she could use to go to community college. If you want our help, you just come on back over here and we'll help you. Y'all seem like good people who know how to help, Martin said, so I'll be back. Listen, I don't know. I don't even know what y'all want me to do with this.
No, I
I,
do
I
with this.
don't know what y'all want me to do with this.
So when I do this, that means what do you want from me? Now here's the deal. Louisiana is the same state where one of its United States senators, John Kennedy, just last week, we talked about him saying that the vice president of these yet to be United States was inarticulate and an idiot. Remember that? And was calling her all kinds of racial epithets. Remember that? The sitting senator, the senior senator, who was probably involved with the legislation way back in the Reagan administration in the 80s when this first started in the early 80s. And it started from where? Where did it start? Really be, look at the clue words. It started with evangelical churches wanting the right to do whatever they wanted to do, and that's how you got the deregulation. Now, y'all might think that this is the wild, wild west in terms of education, but what this is the model for what you're about to see Tennessee go to, Texas, Arkansas. It's a whole lot of states that I'm telling you are about to set themselves up. The moms for liberty are all over this, all over it. And let's be clear, They have cover. These fraudulent or questionable clandestine institutions with their, you know, pseudo diplomas, degrees, or whatever, why would we be able to question it? Because there's no shortage of for profit and even not for profit colleges that are going to do what? Take it gladly. The article just told us Ivy League schools were accepting students with these fraudulent transcript, fraudulent degrees. Ivy League, University of Pennsylvania, Brown University, Princeton, Harvard, MIT, Yale. But we over here got our kids over here being browbeat, broke down, busted, and disgusted, trying to do all they can to make it, scratching and surviving, hanging in the child line to get accepted to, any school that they can. And you got the freaking wild, wild west out here. And I'm telling you, when parents from other schools see the blueprint and say, oh, well, it's working over there for them, they ain't got no problem. Why am I going? Why we can't have the same thing? My child need to have the same experience. I need, as a parent, to be able to have complete control and autonomy over everything. This is what we have. This is what we have been telling you what's going to happen. We told you when the parents say, "Oh, we need to control every aspect of education." This is what you get because there are professionals who are degreed and have real credentials that work in public education that know right from wrong in terms of pedagogy, knows how instruction is supposed to go, knows how an educational system is supposed to be, set up. What we got going on here is just freaking. I mean, it's almost like an oxymoronic tale that you thought somebody had written in some dystopian novel. And this, ladies and gentlemen, under the cloak of darkness, has been going on for decades. It only exploded because parents, since the pandemic, these conservative ass, right wing ass parents that don't want nothing to do with people telling them this is what you need for society to live and exist. Wear a freaking mask, distance yourself. Kids gonna need to stay home. They don't want to hear that because they don't care about society. They're only caring about their anthropomorphic view of the world. I only care about me, my family, my child, and everybody in my four walls. Damn everybody else. Negating the fact that eventually these people have to go into the rest of the world and interact with us. None of them are going to be equipped to interact with the regular society. None of them are going to be equipped to interact with society. None of them. None of them. Now, what the hell is the workforce going to look like 10 or 15 years from now? Somebody show me a picture of what the workforce here in these yet to be United States is going to look like. Because right now, watch this really be. You know what? One of the biggest complaints you hear at every company right now, hostile work environment, because you had the millennials and the Gen Zers who, if you say boo to them, you know what I'm saying? They like, oh my God, it's a hostile work environment. They're making me keep deadlines. Oh my God, someone yelled at me about a deadline, so it's hostile work environment. If you thought that was bad, imagine where kids who haven't had to learn to read and write are going to be like 10 years from now when you implant them in the work force. What the hell do you think that's going to look like? I just want to give you a clue as to what y'all got going on. Because y'all out here windmilling in the streets, parents' rights, parents' rights, parents' rights, parents' rights. You got it. Go ahead. Go to Louisiana. Go ahead, really. I have nothing for these people. I have nothing. I'm with
So
the
all I'm
Houston.
gonna
I
say
have
is this,
nothing.
and because I'm not even really I'm really not being funny. Like I am very disturbed by that, and I really am gonna reach out to some people and see. I'm very disturbed by this. But what I want to remind you guys, and El Teddy, before he went left, he started on this road, and then y'all know he spiked out for a minute. I let him go. I let him go. Um, this is a direct reaction to integration, to busing. And what I mean by that is this. I told you guys this before. Charter schools are not new. Charter schools didn't just start 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Charter schools, if you go back and look at the history of them, they were created in the 1970s as a response to busing and integration. So when I heard in this article that like El Teddy said, that this law was passed in 1980, because evangelicals wanted freedom. um, that's just a code word for they wanted to be able to keep out who they wanted to be able to keep out and didn't want to be held to state mandates that they had to have a status quo or affirmative action or any of those things. They didn't want to be held to that. It's very similar to what we're talking about over there in Tennessee with them saying they don't want to take state funds. It's very similar to that because they want to not be held to the federal laws and mandates of what that means to take federal funding. So I want you guys to understand that this is a direct boomerang, or not even say boomerang, but this is a direct effect of going back to 1980 when people didn't want to have little black kids or didn't want to be forced to have little black kids in their classrooms. And now we fast forward into 2023, and as a result of the pandemic, where those parents didn't want to be forced to make their kids wear a mask and didn't want to be forced, or when schools were closed and they wanted schools open because they didn't give a damn about teachers being healthy or whether teachers had families who were dying of COVID or any of those other things that were happening. They didn't care about that. They just wanted their kids out of their house. And now that the schools are back open, now it's, oh, the schools are just terrible. Oh no, we're going to keep our kids home with us, but we want to dictate what that looks like. So I need y'all to understand when we talk about these laws that are passed for quote unquote one reason, how those laws are turned, twisted, and used. And now this is what we're talking about. Now we literally have a system where people can just walk up, buy a diploma, and then get it backdated to make it look like they've had it all along. And you're absolutely correct. Now that a lot of schools, a lot of colleges are no longer requiring SATs and things of that nature. Listen, we have a question. Do you know what? Let's move on because we got 15 minutes left. Because this takes me down a whole nother road. What are they doing for transcripts? Because you might not have to take the SAT anymore, but you certainly have to submit a transcript when you
And
apply to a
apparently they're
college.
backdating transcripts. So that's what I'm saying. How am I supposed to,
Because
you
I mean,
know,
average James
believe
don't get
any
you into Harvard.
transcript?
Child.
You see where this is going, really? Be like, how am I supposed to believe anything coming out of there? And remember,
Crazy.
these
This is
states,
so crazy.
these states are pushing more and more toward this. And really, you know how these things go. These people set up the
But that's
blueprint.
why when we go ahead, I'm sorry, babe. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I know you're fine. But what I was saying is these people set up the blueprint, and the other people say, "Oh, that worked. Oh, they
And
got
they
away with
follow
that.
it. Yeah.
Girl, let me go
And,
ahead and try that
and
too."
exactly. And that's why when we say these things, I'm not trying to be like, crazy or ring an alarm. Like it's real. Like we're telling you where these things can go. So that's why when you hear school choice, you can't be fooled by pretty words like the education scholarship fund. Like those are all pretty words, but at the end of the day, once again, it is a way that they are weeding out who they don't want and to deal with. And they're leaving everybody else to fend for themselves. Oh God. Moving on.
The lady told you point blank. I feel like if a parent says that their child is ready to graduate, their child is ready to graduate.
Right.
What?
See,
What?
Golden says, do a lot of schools care if they can still get some student loan tuition payments for however long the student survives at the university? Yeah, no, universities care because On the university level, it's different. And on the university level, your attrition is important. That goes into accreditation numbers. And when you put your accreditation in jeopardy, then we already know where that goes. So no, they do care about they've put a cap on how long people can be in school without graduating. They've done a lot of things. So no, on the college level, they absolutely care. They do. Um, that's crazy. Okay. So we have about 10 minutes. Do you want to do Harvard or do you want to do Tampa? And we can hold the other one for next week.
Um, let's do Tampa. No, the programming. No, I just got 30,000 texts. I'm not going live today. I got a situation I have to
Oh no.
handle.
Okay.
But no, no,
All
no.
right.
It's not too bad. It's just work I got to do. So I won't be able to go live
Oh,
today. But we got some time to unpack this if we need to. So we'll do Tampa.
okay. Okay. No problem. No problem.
Because I'm not going
All
live,
right.
so it's fine. I got time.
Okay. Um, I'm sorry. Oh, here it is right here. Sorry. Okay. Tampa. Tampa. And
Think
this is
that's the
from
CNN.
the great state of Florida has entered that Florida's been taking a break the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Child. Florida say leave us alone. Listen, we're gonna let some other people try and catch up.
Thank you, Culture Love. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Um, so this article, you guys, this article is coming from CNN Politics. It is dated Tuesday, November the 21st. The University of Tampa is the seventh college facing a Department of Education investigation in the wake of the Israeli-Hamas war. Now, Harvard was very much the same thing. They were under investigation, again, along the same lines. So that's why El Teddy said the two articles are very similar. The University of Tampa and a Florida school district, Hillsborough County Schools, are the latest schools to face an investigation by the Department of Education related to alleged incidents of discrimination. The investigations were made public Tuesday by the department, which added them to an online list of ongoing investigations, which is growing in the wake of the Israeli Hamas war. It also announced a second investigation into New York's Columbia University. Last week, the Department of Education launched investigations into six colleges, including Columbia, Cornell, and the University of Pennsylvania, and one K through 12 school over alleged incidents of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. The investigations were launched by the Department of Education Office for Civil Rights under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. Universities and K-12 schools have a responsibility to provide all students with an environment free of discrimination. Any person or organization that can file a Title VI complaint with the Office for Civil Rights. The agency is now conducting an unprecedented number of hate investigations, according to the department to a department official. Sorry, a pop up. Hold on, y'all. Okay. The situation is becoming unattainable for the Office of Civil Rights, which the official told CNN doesn't have the investigative staff to match the influx of cases. Seeing the proliferation of hate on school campuses, we find it astonishing and scary. The Office of Civil Rights has now opened a total of 27 Title VI investigations this year. 15 similar investigations were opened last year, and just two were opened in 2021. The office also investigates other kinds of right violation, including those regarding sexual harassment. The Department of Education are very clearly trying to demonstrate that they are moving quickly to respond to concerns they've heard from the public, from Congress, and from the administration, said Jonathan Fansmith, Senior Vice President of Government Relations and National Engagement at the American Council on Education. The organization represents more than 1,700 colleges and universities. They have made it clear that they are going to be taking a very, very vigilant role on the issue of anti-Semitism on college campuses. The Office for Civil Rights aims to resolve investigations within 6 months. Schools could ultimately lose federal funding if they don't comply with the office recommendations, but investigations typically end with the school agreeing to address the incident or making policy changes if there is a systemic problem. The University of Tampa said that the investigation stems from an incident that occurred in September before the October 7 Hamas terror attack on Israel, and was addressed by the university. The university is fully cooperating with the request for information but cannot commit further due to student policy laws. Columbia University said it will cooperate with any investigation. Hillsborough County Schools did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Okay, hold on. College campuses have seen a rise in tension over the ongoing Israeli-Hamas war. A Cornell University student was federally charged in connection with a series of online posts threatening to unalive or harm Jewish students in the University of Pennsylvania, alerted the FBI to a series of threatening anti-Semitic emails sent to the Ivy League school staff. Complaints filed earlier this month by the Brandeis Center, a Jewish civil rights legal organization, led the Office for Civil Rights to open investigations into the University of Pennsylvania, Wesleyan College in Massachusetts. Kenneth Marcus, founder and chairman of the Brandeis Center, told CNN he thinks the Office for Civil Rights could be doing more. He's also headed the office under the Trump administration. It's just a drop in the bucket when you compare the number of investigations to the number of incidents we're seeing across the country. This reflects only a tiny percentage of problems out there, he added. Earlier this month, the Department of Education issued guidance to colleges and K-12 schools, reminding them that they have a legal obligation to address incidents of discrimination, including against those who are Jewish, Israeli, Muslim, Arab, or Palestinian. The department also recently updated the discrimination complaint form, specifying the Title VI protection form discrimination based on race, color, or national origin extends to students who are perceived to be Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, or Sikh, or based on other shared ancestry or ethnic characteristics.
Is it my turn?
I'm done. Go for
And this is where I would break out my boy Larry Myers because I feel myself spiking out. Okay. First of all, Miguel Cardona, you and your feckless ass Department of Education, y'all got a lot of goddamn nerve. Let me tell you something. So magically, the Israel Hamas war comes and y'all find the energy. Y'all find you and Merrick Garland in the United States Justice Department. Y'all find all of the energy. Oh my God, there's so many hate crimes. There's so many discriminatory things going on in colleges and K through 12 schools. Really beaten. How many years have we been doing this? Teacher Project.
This is our fourth season.
Have we not chronicled case after case after case? And for every one case we chronicle, there's at least 2,000 or 3,000 others simultaneously going on across the fruited plains. Let's be clear, because they're like roaches. Of racial discrimination, of bigotry, of all untenable amounts of just awful things going on, okay? And y'all just told us the number. Oh, we only had 2 cases in 2021 and only 15 in 2022. But now the Israel-Hamas war is the impetus for now us to do a real critical lens view at what's going on in colleges, universities, and K through 12 schools. Y'all have a lot of goddamn nerve. Because let's be clear, the entirety of this administration is on the wrong side of history with regard to, I hate to wax political on Teacher Project 2.0, but they're on the wrong goddamn side of history on this Israel-Hamas situation. They're on the side of murdering and slaughtering of women and children by the tens of thousands with reckless abandon and giving full-throated support of that. And because at many of these schools and institutions, You have young progressive students, which, excuse me, really, be you know history better than I do. Colleges and universities are the bedrock of these things. This is where you're supposed to be able to protest. You're supposed to be able to speak out about atrocities going on. And now we have a government that is trying to dictate what you can and cannot speak out about. If they don't agree with you, they want to silence you. We see, we talked about the previous administration trying to turn this into an authoritarian society, and now we have the current administration doing the same goddamn thing. When did we start to tell students on a university at a university quad, no, y'all can't protest that. No, y'all can't speak out about this. When did that happen really? When did we switch to that in this country? Because I never remember that being the case. But magically, y'all are heavy head. Now could really be, were we not just months ago talking about where's Miguel Cardona? Why hasn't the United States Education Department spoke out on all of the things that's been going on during this administration? And now y'all all of a sudden got, y'all panties in the butt. Oh no, y'all not gonna come out here and say nothing against, girl. Y'all have a lot of goddamn nerve. Y'all got a lot of nerve. The entirety of the Biden administration, the entirety of Miguel Cardona's Department of Education, this is the hill you want to die on? This is the thing you want to stand on? Y'all got a lot of goddamn nerves. You got a lot of nerves. I don't want to hear anything. And they're going to try, anytime you say something, people could call me whatever, it immediately, oh, you're being anti Semitic because you don't give full throated support to people being murdered, to Benjamin Netanyahu and his genocide that he has going on over there. Because if you don't see that as occupation happening over there, you're delusional. I'm sorry, really, I'm spiking out. Go ahead, please, before I spike out. I'm going to spike out. Just go, just go.
All right. Well, thank y'all for being here.
I can't stand you. I can't stand you. Oh, I can't stand you. You got to say something, man. We're waiting. The people are waiting.
I don't have anything to say. Thank y'all for being here.
So
Thanks for
what?
coming out. God bless you. Good
This
night.
is what. This is no. That's not. That's not the answer. We want to know what are your thoughts on the article, ma'am? We have a whole article. The people are awaiting.
I don't have any thoughts. I feel like you said enough. I feel like you said enough.
She's
I don't
not
have
doing
any
this.
thoughts.
She's not
No
doing this with her. Don't know what she wants from me.
thoughts.
Don't know what she wants from me. Help her, Lord. A
You
mess.
said you're not going live. You're not feel you got some fires to put out.
Yeah, I got some fires. Just help
Okay.
me,
Well,
Lord.
I'll see y'all in at 6:45. Because I have some things I got to do before I do my live. So I want
I
to
got some.
thank y'all for being here again, you guys. We are trying to get our monetization hopefully by the end of the year. So if you have not watched, if you guys can go back and look at our other playlists, listen, some you can just let it play in the background while you cleaning your house or you know doing other things. Go and hear some of our other old episodes where we talked about some other things. Um, we've had some great episodes over the years, so go check us out,
We
you
did
guys.
some of our old Black History
Yeah, go back to like our
shows. So
Black
we had
History
some
Month
good
or our
Black
Teacher
History Month shows.
Appreciation. Yeah, we've definitely had some great ones. So check us out, you guys. We only need 1,400 watch time hours, which really isn't a lot. It's not a lot. If 140 of y'all watch, I don't know my math. Did I say
I
10
don't
earlier?
think that's how that works with the watch time. But I think they have some other quantum physics,
I don't know. Well, if everybody just go
Formula.
watch a couple of episodes,
Yeah,
that'll
just
be
go,
good.
everybody go watch 10 episodes. If all of us go watch
Yeah,
10
that's
episodes,
it. That's it.
we might can make it happen.
We might can make it happen. All right. Uh-oh. I'm surprised you didn't break out in your girl's song. Make it
Oh.
happen. You know, you are,
Oh,
yeah, I know El Teddy is a whole lamb over there, y'all.
yes, I am. A whole lamb. My queen, Mariah.
And on that note, good
Although,
night.
all I want for Christmas is not in my favorite Mariah Carey song. It's not.
Oh,
It's not. It's not even my favorite song on that album.
my favorite song on that album is Miss You Most at Christmas. Oh, I love that
I
song.
love Miss You Most at Christmas. I love Joy to the World.
I think Joy
Heart
to
to
the World is
Hell.
probably my least favorite, only because it's Joy to the World. I mean, I've heard so much. You know what I mean? It's probably my least. I still like it, but I think it's my least favorite on the album.
I have to listen to her "Oh Holy Night" every year.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, holy
I have
night,
to listen.
yes.
Her and Celine, "Oh Holy Night," are two of my
Oh,
favorites.
yes. Ah.
Her and
Anyway, with that
Celine,
being
their "Oh
said,
Holy Night."
y'all, let's get out of here. I thank y'all so much. Appreciate y'all so much. We will see y'all next week. Mwah. Peace.
Wow, those are some of my favorites. You know